You spent 4 hours on that deliverable. You charged for 4 hours. The client used it to land a $40,000 contract. You got $280. Something is wrong with that math. The problem isn't the client. The problem isn't what you thought. The problem is how you thought about what you were selling. Welcome to The Real Place. I'm Milton Flournoy. Today, we're having the conversation most freelancers are too afraid to have about money, about value, and time, and why pricing by the hour is quietly capping your ceiling. Think about that for a minute. I'm a Lean Six Sigma black belt and founder of Obsidian Success. Today's truth: when you price your time, you turn yourself into a commodity, and commodities get compared, negotiated, and discounted. But when you price the transformation, the result your client gets because of your work, you change the entire conversation. I'm going to show you how to find your transformation and put a number on it before you ever send another proposal. There are three things a client actually cares about when they hire you. None of them are your hourly rate. They care about the problem getting solved, not the process you use to solve it, not how many revisions it included, and is the problem going away. They care about the solution. A copywriter doesn't write words. She writes the words that gets emails open, which gets calls booked, which gets contracts signed. The email is the vessel. The revenue is the point. They care about the end. They can trust you to hold the project. Trust has a price. Expertise has a price. The relief of knowing it's handled, that has a price. None of that appears on a time tracking invoice. Here's the framework I call the value stack. Think about it. It tracks back to value add in the conversations we've had. Surface value, what you literally produce, the deliverable, the website, the photos, the strategy, then the decorations, that is it. Functional value, what that deliverable does for their business, the client. The website books appointments, the photos win brand deals, the homes get wows. Emotional value, how the client feels once the work is done. Confident, credible, ready. Most freelancers only price the surface. Transformation pricing starts at the bottom of that stack and works its way up. Brand photographer, 2 years in business, booking solidly, but not growing. She charges $350 for a half a day brand shoot. She's booked every weekend and exhausted. I ask, who are your clients? What do you do with the photos? What do they do with the photos? What does success look like? Mostly entrepreneurs launching or rebranding, coaches, consultants, small business owners. I ask, what happens to their business after the shoot? She starts listing. New website goes live. Instagram gets overhauled. They finally feel confident enough to start pitching media. One client got featured in a magazine 3 weeks after our shoot. I ask, and you charge $350 for that. Silence. That silence speaks volume. That silence is the beginning of transformation pricing. We reframe her offer, not what she shoots, but what she unlocks. She is not selling photos. She is selling the confidence to show up, the content to launch with, and the visual identity that makes everything else possible. New positioning, new package, new anchor price. Not $350 for 4 hours, $1,200 for a brand launch experience, which includes the shoot, a curated gallery, and a 30-minute strategy session on how to use the images across platforms. She books fewer Saturdays. She earns more than she did booking all of them. And for the first time, she stops dreading her own calendar. Now let that sit. Does it look the same for your business? Now let's talk about some of the traps. Charging what you think clients will accept instead of what the work is worth. You don't know what someone will pay until you ask with confidence. Most freelancers pre-negotiate against themselves before the conversation even starts. 2, letting a lower price signal confidence. There is a category of client who hears a low price and thinks they must not be that good. Pricing communicates positioning. Commodity pricing attracts commodity clients. 3, discounting as a relationship strategy. Cutting your rate for a client is not generosity. It is a precedent. Every future conversation you have with that client happens in the shadow of that discount. Price fairly from the start and hold it with warmth. Now let that sit. Are you right now discounting? Are you value pricing? Where are you? You build a skill. You showed up consistently. You deliver real results for real people. You deserve to be paid for what that actually does, not just for the hours it takes. Here's your challenge. Look at your last 3 client projects. For each one, ask, what did the client gain because of my work? Revenue, confidence, time back, opportunity? Now look at what you charged. Is there a gap? That gap is your next conversation with yourself. Not about the clients, not about what they will pay, about what you're willing to ask for. I'm Milton Flournoy, and this is The Real Place. Stop selling your hours. Start pricing the transformation. And I'll see you next time.